Hey guys, this is Drew from ZP Reviews, coming with the next video in the ZP Reviews Guide to Amazon playlist. With this video, I would like to talk about the Seller Central Guide as well as the Supplier Information tabs. So let's get started. So what you'll find when you first come to the this tab is a bunch of links for the actual tutorials that are provided by Amazon. We've compiled all of the tutorial videos that we believe are important for new sellers, and you can find them all here, and a small blurb about what each video is about. I highly recommend, if this is your first foray into selling on Amazon, that you spend as much of your time as possible here in this tab. That way, no matter what you do in your business, you're always aware of what you can and can't do. It's usually something that everyone needs to do, but because there's so much going on in Amazon Seller Central, it can be kind of daunting, so we only included the most important parts. Also, I should remind you guys that there is a very expansive forum with Amazon Seller Central where you can get your questions answered by other Amazon sellers as well as Amazon reps, and I highly recommend that you utilize this while you're learning. And beyond that, the other portion of this tab that you should spend some time is in the gating category. So if you don't know, there are different kinds of products that require more we'll just say hoops to jump through. Now I would say this: these hoops are actually worth your while more often than not, because the gated categories are often very lucrative products that have less competition. You just need to make sure that you dot your I's and cross your T's, because if you don't do your gated products right, they can be stopped at the border. You can have issues with your suppliers. It's very important that if you choose a category like this, that you make sure that you cover all your bases. And what we recommend is going through this listing restrictions as well as restricted products before you choose something. And finally, at the end of this tab is an link here to all of the training content. Just make sure you're logged in and it will link up for you. So the next tab is my supplier information tab. This is a opener template that we've provided to you, and what it's for is when you're sending out quotation requests on Alibaba. Now, Alibaba is not the only site you can use, but it's the one that we typically use. But what you need to consider when you're sending these quotations is, one, don't use your real name. Otherwise they will spam you. So make sure you use something like this. Use a title for this person, like purchasing manager or purchasing agent, or someone other than yourself, because it accomplishes two things for you. Is that, one, it's going to, as I said earlier, keep people from finding you, right, overseas, because once they know you're interested, you'd be surprised how many people try to find you on other social medias to get you to buy something. But then, two, using a title like purchasing manager will make your company seem a lot bigger than it is, and we highly recommend it. So just going through it, the most important things is you want to know how much does your product weigh, whether or not your supplier that you're interested in can do custom packaging for you. This can save you a lot of headaches. Otherwise, you'll have to get an entirely different supplier for the packaging. We had to do that, and it's very common, so don't feel too bad about it. Just make sure that you're negotiating properly, because packaging is a lot cheaper, but they're more often than not going to try to get you to buy significantly more. So, like, relative our product, we do orders of anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 units. However, when we do packaging orders, it'll be like 20,000, 30,000 units. So just keep that in mind. If you're a new seller, we highly recommend DDP shipping. If you don't know anything about Incoterms, we can link you the sheet below. I actually might just add it to this tab while I'm thinking about it. But basically, DDP shipping, the liability on getting your product is on the supplier. This is why we recommend it. Using other terms will basically share the liability with you. So, and it's kind of you get what you pay for. So I recommend the DDP. when you can, especially early on. Also air shipping, that way you get your product sooner, because when you do DDU shipping or shipping by boat, it's going to take 2 months, which, you know, it's cheaper, but it also means you're going to spend a longer time without having products in sale. So this that can really mess with your lead time. So when I can, I always do air shipping, you know, unless something changes. And then finally, the last two is duties, fees, and taxes. This is in case you're not sure on what your costs are going to be just to get it out of the country or get it into the country you're shipping it to. Don't overlook this. If you don't pay these, customs can stop you, so just be aware. One of the little secret tricks that I use is many of the manufacturers will often let you use their intellectual property in selling the product. Now, I will say this usually only works if you don't have a major brand. Say you're selling generic products, but it's worth mentioning, because if you already heard in the last video that I did about photography, you would know that it can be very expensive doing photography yourself, either through a contractor or trying to do it yourself. So getting a couple photos, even if it's a handful, can drastically reduce your price. We're talking, you know, anywhere from $100, $200, $300 savings if you just get the pictures from the source. So I like to always give them lots of thanks, you know, and I try to be very personable. This really helps. I find that, you know, the nicer you are to people, even if you don't know them, they're just much more likely to be more warm to your request, as well as getting you better pricing. Because the one thing that you're gonna have in your pocket that you should consider in negotiation is that whether you have a little bit of money or a lot of money, they're always going to favor sellers that buy more. So you counteract this by getting as many quotes as possible, because if the companies know that they're having to compete with other companies for your business, they're more likely to give you better terms. Just make sure that you're doing this and don't get too caught up on one supplier. This negotiation tactic is not that different than, say, trying to talk down a car. So consider those things. If you have experience with that, it actually is wonderful, and I think it can help you a lot. So I just wanted to run through these two tabs. Once again, make sure you spend a lot of time here on this Seller Central guide. It definitely will help you, and it will make a lot of other things make sense quicker, and you'll also be ready to go when it's time to get your product. So once again, this is Drew from ZP Reviews. If you like what you're hearing, make sure you like, comment, and hit the notification bell for more updates. And thanks for your time, guys. All right, bye.